let's say you want to give debate a try, but the thought of working with another person sometimes doesn't work with you, or having the fear of what someone else is going to say that may affect your round, if that's a little scary to you. If you're the kind of person that just likes to go it alone because you are completely in control of your fate and destiny, then Lincoln Douglas debate might be an option for you. Lincoln Douglas debate is one-on-one debate. So there's not you and a partner. It's just you. Now, in Lincoln Douglas debate, the topics are more value driven. So let me kind of give you an example, and that's this month's topic. Topics are going to change throughout the season, but for instance, this month, in September and October of 2019, the topic for LD is resolved. In the United States, colleges and universities ought not consider standardized tests in undergraduate admissions decisions. So sometimes topics can be a little bit more vague, or like I said, value driven in Lincoln Douglas debate. But this is your chance to argue one-on-one. Now, in LD, topics last for 2 months. So that means throughout the season, you're going to get 4 topics. You'll have one from September to October, November to December, January to February, and March and April. So 4 different topics, 4 different times for you to change things up, write new cases, and 4 new things to research each year. So make sure you understand, if you don't like this topic, it's going to change fairly soon. Just get ready for a new one in a couple months down the road. Now you're going to prepare cases ahead of time. You're going to be ready to go with cases. You're going to have an affirmative case and you're going to have a negative case. The big thing about LD that really kind of separates it out is going to be the times. The times are a little bit different. And I have, for whatever reason, I can memorize the times in my head through the catchy little 6, 3, 7, 3, 4, 6, 3. Let me slow that down for you. The affirmative is going to start out and they're going to present their case, and they have 6 minutes to present their case. This is going to be something that you're going to, again, prepare ahead of time. It's going to be practiced. It's going to be polished, a lot like giving a lot of other speeches. But you're going to be affirming the resolution. You're going to be able to say, this is why my side is true. You have 6 minutes to present your case to the judge. So that's that first 6 in the times I mentioned. Next up is 3. That means you get a 3-minute cross-examination. Now, you're not asking questions. You are simply answering questions the entire time. Your other competitor is going to be asking you questions about your case. So you're not really doing anything other than an answer mode for 3 minutes. Now, the negative side has 7 minutes to present their case and to go through point by point on your case why you are wrong. So that's the 6, 3, 7. Now we have another 3 minutes. That's now for you to ask questions of the negative side. So each person has spoken and then had to answer 3 minutes of questions afterwards. So that's the 6, 3, 7, 3. Now, affirmative has 4 minutes to do a rebuttal or a summary speech that's going to summarize the round and say why affirmative is correct. They're going to need to rebuild anything destroyed by the negative debater. But that is that speech, that 4-minute speech. 6, 3, 7, 3, 4, 6. The negative debater now has 6 minutes to come in and to wrap up everything in his case. This is where he or she is going to give their voters. This is where they're going to really try to persuade that judge as to why they are correct, because this is their last chance to speak. So then 6, 3, 7, 3, 4, 6, 3. Affirmative has then the last 3 minutes to wrap up the round, to summarize everything and to make sure that the affirmative side is on top. So once again, just memorize in your head that little catchy 6, 3, 7, 3, 4, 6, 3, and you'll always know the times. Even as a judge, I remember 6, 3, 7, 3, 4, 6, 3. That just sticks in my head. So if you're going to be an LD debater, stick that in your head again as well. 6, 3, 7, 3, 4, 6, 3. Now, a lot of times Lincoln Douglas debate debaters like to speed things up a little bit. They like to talk fast. There's this understanding that the more information that I can put out there in the time that I have, the more information that the other team is going to have to combat. So I personally am not a fan of this approach. When I judge, I always tell people, if you are going so fast that I can't keep track of you on my paper, that's not going to bode well for you in the round. But it doesn't stop people from doing it. So keep in mind that if you're going against some experienced debaters, they may try to go really fast on you. It's just going to take some listening practice to really make sure that you're writing things down. You're not going to be able to write down everything that they say. That's why we provide tags in debate cases, so that way you can just write down the overviews, statements, the highlights, as you're trying to keep track of that debate on your flow, as we call it. Now, one of the things that's interesting to note about Lincoln Douglas debate is, as I mentioned, it's called value debating. Because of that, there's going to be certain things you need to have built into your case for you to keep in mind. Now, anytime you're writing a debate case, you always need to start off with definitions, make sure that the terms are defined going into the round. But then you also need to add what we call the value and the criteria. Now, that might sound a little bit confusing. So let's start with the value first. A value is, say, an ultimate truth, something that hopefully is going to be difficult to argue against. So, for instance, in Lincoln Douglas topics, we are debating sometimes some more vague types of concepts. So how do we whittle this down? Well, we're going to whittle this down with a value, something that's going to be set in stone. It's like an important belief system. So some common values you might hear are things pertaining to life, or to justice, or autonomy, or equality. You're going to need some sort of a statement there that's you can then define to say, this is my value. This is what is going to help you decide the case. Now, a lot of times values are vague in their phrasing. So, if a judge is saying, well, how do I judge equality? That's going to be a little bit difficult, especially within the context of this resolution. So what I need as a judge is I need a weighing mechanism, is what we're going to call it. How do I weigh what's equitable? How do I weigh equality? And so, as the debaters, I'm going to present. Here's my weighing mechanism. Some people are going to call it criteria. Here's my weighing mechanism that's going to help you know how to take the arguments that are presented to you and weigh them accordingly. So, for instance, net benefits is one you hear a lot in LD rounds. Net benefits meaning whichever argument has the most benefits for the biggest population, that's going to determine the winner of the round. So yeah, again, whoever has the most benefits to the largest group of people, that's how you're going to weigh on the value. So every argument, every case that you write, you need to have a value and you need to have a criteria. You need to have, or that weighing mechanism is kind of more the common phrasing of that. Have your value, have your weighing mechanism. That helps the judge know, how do I take this kind of abstract concept and put real weight into it. So LD is a really fun, like one-on-one type of event. It is, it's pre-written, it's pre-researched. You know your topics ahead of time, so there are no surprises there. You have to have a case written for affirmative. You have to have a case written for negative because you're going to be going both times with the topic. But make sure you're ready to go. Let me know if you have any questions. But LD can be a lot of fun if you like one-on-one debate instead of working with a partner. So that is Lincoln Douglas.